An Unholy Alliance by Dr. Michael Youssef, graciously but firmly expose the irrationality of the left. UN Watch is a Geneva-based organisation that reports on human rights abuses and seeks to hold the United Nations to the principles of its charter. In August 2025, UN Watch released a troubling video of a speech given by Francesca Albanese, an Italian legal scholar who serves as UN Special Rapporteur on the occupied Palestinian territories. Her job is to report, supposedly in an honest and unbiased way, on the human rights situation in those territories. In the video, Francesca Albanese tells an audience in Sicily on August 8, 2025, "People continue to say, but Hamas, Hamas, Hamas. I don't think people have any idea what Hamas is. Hamas is a political force that won the elections in 2005, whether we like it or not. Those were called the most democratic elections. Hamas put together a system of schools, public facilities, hospitals. It was simply the authority, as it was called in technical jargon, the de facto authority. So it is critical that you understand that when you think of Hamas, you should not necessarily think of cutthroats, people armed to the teeth, or fighters. It's not like that. Yes, Hamas has built schools and hospitals, with terrorist tunnel networks running under them. Should we call Hamas terrorists? Cutthroats? Well, they have boasted of cutting thousands of throats. Should we think of them as fighters, armed to the teeth? The 1988 Hamas founding covenant literally states, "Jihad is its path, and death for the sake of Allah is the loftiest of its wishes," and they are clearly living up to those words. Francesca Albanese's words are emblematic of the irrationality of secular left thinking. This kind of gaslighting by the progressive left is all the worse when it is spouted by a credentialed representative of the United Nations. There's a popular misconception that transnational organisations, such as the UN or the World Health Organization, are selflessly devoted to serving humanity and are therefore above reproach. But many people in these organisations, like Francesca Albanese, are dedicated leftists and socialists. Why do so many people grant credibility to transnational organisations like the UN and the World Health Organization credibility they don't deserve and tail to live up to? British journalist Melanie Phillips was a leftist in her early years, and she understands leftist thinking. As a kind of an article of faith on the left, she said, that transnational is good because it's like the brotherhood of man, whereas individual nations are bad because they're colonialist if they're white nations. In an interview with an Australian journalist, Phillips explained the ideology that underlies the irrationality of leftist thinking, using the example of the activist group Queers for Palestine. "Anyone with half a brain can see," she said, "that gay people in Gaza are thrown off the tops of tall buildings. How then can a group call itself Queers for Palestine?" She explains, "The answer is intersectionality. It is this ideology which has gripped them as a way of thinking that cannot be challenged, that the world is divided into two groups, the powerful and the powerless. You are either in one group or the other. It's the idea that all human relationships are built on power. This is why leftists, progressives and socialists worldwide have sided with Hamas. They see the Palestinians as the powerless side of the equation. In the irrational thinking of the left, powerlessness is the equivalent of being morally right. The powerless can do no wrong. This bizarre notion is not rooted in any moral principles, but in Marxist ideology. For decades, leftists have been portraying Hamas fighters as noble underdogs. But after Hamas launched its horrifying attack against Israel on October 7, 2023, leftists suddenly had a huge problem. Video evidence that Hamas terrorists themselves recorded on body cameras and phones showed these noble underdogs committing unspeakable torture and butchery, slaughtering babies and children, raping women and more. The secular leftists who had supported the cause of Hamas now faced a dilemma. They could either admit that the cause they had supported was evil, or they could irrationally deny the truth and continue to claim the terrorists are the good guys. Most chose irrationality and denial. They can't admit, even to themselves, that they have been wrong all along. To do so would destroy their image of themselves as morally superior people who only support righteous causes. Leftists can't face the truth, but you and I must stand firmly for the truth. When leftists tell you that Western civilization is the source of all of humanity's ills, calmly reply that Western civilization has given us the rule of law, constitutional government democracy, the Bill of Rights, scientific innovation, art and literature, institutions of higher learning, and the greatest global prosperity in human history. When leftists tell you that Western civilization invented slavery, calmly reply, no, slavery has existed since history began, but Western civilization gave us the abolition movement and people like William Wilberforce, Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, and Harriet Tubman, who joined forces to end the institution of slavery. Don't be intimidated. Calmly expose the irrationality of the left. Defend reason, defend truth, and defend Western civilization, which, despite its flaws, has largely been shaped by Judeo-Christian values and biblical principles.